blah 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 blah. Hey everyone, it's Tony for eModels.co.uk. Welcome to part 4 of the Valentino Rossi build. And apologies for not being around for a while, but I had the throat issues and then work, double shifts and all kinds of things like that, and then my dog's had an operation on her ear. Yeah, she managed to whack her ear off something at some point. She gave herself a hematoma inside the ear. She had a cauliflower ear, so the vets had to operate on the ear to sort that out. And basically what they do is they slit the ear on the inside, scoop out all the rubbish that's in there, and then they've got to do that again with the ear flap. And to do that, they put buttons on the inside of the ear. In her case, it's 4 on one side, 5 on the other, down the long bit. And they stitch through the buttons like you would normally, and then they stitch across the little buttons, and then diagonally across the buttons, and diagonally this way across buttons, so you can get the big squish to help the ear heal back to itself. She looks like this, and it's she's got pink buttons, for crying out loud. However, right, so because of the throat issues, it delayed the filming of the figure itself, and I'm aware that I need to get these videos out. So what I was planning to do was build the figure as we've been doing so far. I'm going to get the hands in, and continue that from episode 3, I think it was, and show you how I fixed it. 'Cause, those seam lines were ugly, and there's all kinds of fits issues and things like that, but I fixed it all. And it just proves that with a little bit of graft, a little bit of TLC, you can take what is potentially a dog of a kit and make something absolutely amazing from it, as we can see from here. Now, on my regular channel, eventually, you'll get to see Harold Hyperspace Wonder Horse, who had a massive, great big crack back there. And hopefully I'm going to throw some pictures over the top whilst I'm still waffling at you. So in that video, I'm going to show you again how to take care of a dog of a kit and make it look absolutely amazing and things like that. So that's what we've done here as well. So don't be put off by this. It is an absolutely brilliant kit, this one. Just needs a little bit of attention. Hopefully yours won't be as bad as this. Hopefully this is just a one-off. But like I say, because of the throat and things like that, I'm delayed now with the figure itself. So what I'll do is present episode 5 to you as episode 4 instead. Yeah, I know it doesn't make sense, but there we go. There's Rossi's mush. We've now matte coated it, and it looks absolutely spiffing. That's the cowl. No, it's not. It's the underguard chin thing for the helmet with the thing and the stuff. Don't worry about that. We'll get to that eventually. Because I'm actually filming the helmet stages at the moment. But that's where we are with the mush. And in this episode, I'll show you how I did that. So pause here. Go make yourself a brew. Go grab your cookies and whatever. And then we'll crack on. Magic. Okay, so painting the face. In the instructions it tells us to use XF15 flat flesh, which I'm not going to do, because flat flesh bugs me, really does. That's not my skin colour at all. Bugs me. My normal skins, I tend to use oil paints in something this kind of scale. Now obviously that's a fair bit bigger than Valley is. Then that's a 1/9 or 1/10 scale, something like that. But everything you can see there on the face is in oil paints rather than acrylics. Gives us a little bit more blending time. Now that was done entirely with artist oils. Believe it or not, it was one of those. There's a burnt umber. Where's the other one? Yellow ochre, burnt umber, and a touch of white. And it was basically on a bit of card, a couple of dots of oil paint, and then using something like that, which is the plastic from a kit. You just basically blend all your colours together. That's the main colour you'll be using for the skin. And then you darken it obviously with these ones, lighten it with a white or a yellow. I'm not going to do that because that's a bit too complicated to go through in one video. I've literally just had it and I put it down somewhere and it's gone. I stumbled across last year, I think it was, the year before. How did you put that? I found it, it's okay, I found it. So last year, or possibly 2 years ago, I can't quite remember now, I stumbled across Vallejo's face painting set, which is absolutely gorgeous. Don't know if you can make that out. I just used it for this fella. You can see the shadows and highlights and all kinds of stuff like that, and that's a 1/35th scale figure. So that's the kind of thing we'll be doing here now with Valley's face. And in the kit you get all those paints, and at first you think, oh god, I've got to use all those. No, you don't. They have to give you 2 examples. As you can see from the photos here, we've got a gladiator type looking bloke, and then we've got a Roman soldier type looking bloke. I think they're both Romans anyway, yeah, both Romans. One with and one without the helmet. So they teach you 2 different versions. So we've got that version, this version. And it's basically a how-to guide on the back. So you do a base coat, and then you highlight, and then you highlight, highlight, highlight. Then you go with darks, things like that. You just basically follow the steps through. And it's quite cool. It really is quite cool. And you get the final result, which is there. I'll sort of show that. So you go through all the different stages of highlighting and shadows and things like that. So we'll go with this one, I think. We'll go with this one, and then it gives you the colours at the top that you need. So we need brown sand, basic skin tone, which is that one. We need a shadow colour of burnt cadmium red, which is 814. And we need black. Ooh, why am I using black? And we could use a palette, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use the kit plastic bag as the palette. And that way I can make a huge mess and not have to worry about anything. So let's get the camera set up. As I was started saying, but then didn't finish. Yeah, it's me. I do that. The oil paint blendy type thing that we could do is a little bit too complicated because he's got his Magneto hat on. And we can't... oh, shadows everywhere. What's going on? There we go. Hello, Valley. So, because of these 2 cheat cards, we can't quite get in to do all the blending that we need to do. So, we'll go with acrylics for this. So, from that set that I was showing you a second ago, we've got the brown sand, it's the base coat, basic skin tone to lighten it, and then we've got burnt red for lips and shadows and darkening the base colour, and then a touch of black now and then. Now hopefully we won't have to use too much black, because I don't like using black to start with. That's an entirely different rant, but hopefully we should be able to get everything done with these 3 colours from the face painting set. It's a proper acrylic, so we do need to mix it down with water. Doesn't actually, there we go, water based acrylics. So it's not like the Tamiya stuff where we have to use a specialist thinner, the X20A, so we don't actually need that. So on a piece of plastic, we don't actually need the palette for this. This will actually be a little bit more helpful, so we've got a bit more room to play with. Let's give that another shake. I'm shaking that for about 20 minutes off camera. Here we go. And then I've got a selection of brushes. So I've got the medium one we've been using for most of the detail work anyway, and then we've got 4 detail brushes. Now I don't think I need all those, but it's good to have them just in case. Oh, a bunch of disappeared under me. You think, magic. It's good to have them handy, just in case you do need them and you can't quite get to do a colour change quickly enough. So we're going to little dollop of paint. I'm just going to wet blend on there. So we need this quite thin, so we're going to build up a couple of thin coats on the face. Now rather than pull and twist to a point like we have been doing for detail painting. So we get a nice little point like that, so we can get in all the detail bits. We're going to pull across and flatten the brush out and get a chisel edge. And that way, hopefully, we should be able to get into the crooks and nannies. A bit too runny. There we go. So we're going to build this up in a couple of layers. So we need it thin enough that it's going to go on, but not pool everywhere. I'm just going to take care of the throat first. And it looks patchy as hell, I know. That's okay. The second coat should take care of it. Same again. Just pull it into a chisel edge. And that way we can get right up to that cheek guard. Like so. It's a bit more wet stuff. And move the piece around to suit you. Try not to dislocate your wrist or anything. Working round. So there we go. Looks as rough as a bear's bum. Like I say, we're after a couple of really thin coats. If we walk this on all in one go, it looked like the lady on the counter in the big department stores that tries to sell you your lady friend makeup. You know, it's like that really heavily plastered on look. We don't want that. So we'll give that 5 or 10 minutes to just dry off, and we'll come back, do a second coat. Alright, see if we can bring it down a little bit now for the next step. So we've got a Valentino head, and we're going to take the brown sand base coat that we used in the base coating stage, funnily enough. Just move the brushes out of the way. So we're going to use a splot of the base coat, and we're going to give the basic skin tone a quick shake, just to reactivate it all. Like so. Just looks a bit iffy that. Basic skin tone. That'll do. So, base coat, lightning coat. I'm going to use a smaller detail brush this time. So again, pop into some water just to wet everything down. Get it all mixed about. Just that lighting a little bit. Got terrible shine. So just activate everything. We need slightly thinner coats as well. It's literally just a dot of a highlight shade. So we just lightened the skin tone a tiny little bit. Hopefully you can make that out amongst all the shine off the plastic. And then you're literally going to take your figure and then pick out all the highlight points. So we've got the bridge of the nose, into the cheeks. Like so. So it's not much, it's not huge differences. As it's drying, you'll look at it and you'll think, that's not doing anything. But it is just slightly changing all the flavours. As it builds up, you'll see a difference. I'm coming for the top lip. Like so. And then the point of the chin. I don't know, this is a terrible waste of time, because most of this is going to be hidden by his helmet anyway. But we know it's there. Let's go across the top of his Adam's apple. My dog's getting shouted at again. And then the front of that neck muscle there. And that one there. And then back the brush again. So it's getting a bit too dry now. Reactivate all this. And now that we've got that colour there, we can add a touch more. So you should be able to see now a blend from the base coat into a highlight, into a second highlight. Get a bit more wet on there. So this is all with the same brush. You can just pick out high spots. So down the nose, across the cheek. So I'm not actually brushing on now, I'm just dotting on. Across the cheek there. Onto the top lip. And then onto the chin. And what you'll find now, because the coat underneath hasn't quite dried off yet, you should see a blend taking place as well. My dad's being very windy downstairs. So hopefully you can pick out that I'm not actually painting on, I'm dotting on rather than anything. So we'll just wet that mix down again. Like so, and then one more dot. We'll use this now as a final highlight. So again, down the nose. Across the top lip because we're there already. Onto the chin. Sternocleidomastoid I used to know the name of that muscle. Sternocleidomastoid or something like that, I think. It's one of those great names where they've actually named it for what it does. It attaches to the sternum, through the neck, and into your mastoid, which is the bottom corners of your jaw. Yeah. Labrador's being sheltered up. So there we go. So a couple of quick changes. Hopefully you can make that out. Because the lock screen doesn't do this any justice at all. I can't quite tell what's going on that screen, but hopefully you can make that out. So that's the highlights, and then we come back with some low lights as well. So we're just going to leave that for about 10 minutes to dry off, otherwise we'll start blending dark and light together. Dot of the base colour again, so it's the brown sand, and a dot of the burnt red this time. So we're going to go in for the shadows now. So literally a dot. So it's like if you're familiar with Tamiya's XF64 by the look of it, that funny red brown colour that they do, it's very similar to that. So I'm just get that activated, get some wet. Oops, a bit more wet. There we go. So it's literally again one dot. Bring that in. And that might be a little bit too dark, so we'll go further back into our base colour. I can work with that. So we'll pull away to the side as well. There we go, that's a little bit better, a little bit lighter. So we'll just add a little more base colour up here so we can actually blend now through the shades. So I'm going to choose that colour there in the centre. We're literally now just going to find all the shadow points. So it's just there under the eyebrows. And that's just above the eyelids. Then we come again underneath the eyelids. And this time we're going back to brush painting because we need the detail. So it's just there, just underneath. So we're creating a shadow now that isn't there. Hopefully you can see that. And all kinds of issues with my lighting, don't like that. Come underneath the bottom lip. And then we'll blend just underneath the chin as well. Again, most of this detail is going to be hidden by the helmet anyway, but we know this is there. So there we go, creating shadows now. And we're going to take a bit more of the red. And we use this for the lip colour. So there's not masses of low lights, not masses of shadows. And so if this was a full face we could go to town with it, but with it not being full face, most of it is hidden. But it's just a change from, you know, a bog standard lump of XF15 flash. So there we go. It's a bit more character now we've got lips on. For the eyes, something that's often gets done wrong in figure painting, there we go, is that people use a true white for eyes. And if you look at a human's eyes, they're not white, they're actually a funny shade of very, very light grey because of what your eye's made of. You've got the vitreous and aqueous humour, aqueous, one of the two. So it's like the jelly inside your eyes. I know it's quite freaky, I don't like eyes. That's the one thing that I'm squeamish about treating in first aid, is eyes. Don't know why. So we try not to use a true white. There are slightly blue in tint. If we go with on the red side, obviously you've got bloodshot eyes and you're tired, which is just wrong. So we're going to use the Model Air paint for this because it's already pre-thinned for us. And we're going to take the tiniest little dot of black. So it's the model colour black from the skin tones range. The tiniest little dot. Literally. Just to make it look a little bit grey. And that there is perfect. So we don't want true white. If we use true white, it makes them look like I don't know, look like dolls or something, and it's really freaky. So I'm just going to bring that light over. I'm sorry about the shines. Let's shift all that plastic away. Out of the way. How's that? That's better, I think. So we're literally just going to wedge in. Now right there, we can actually see the iris of the eye. Just off in that corner. So for that we're going to go in with the black itself. We'll just wet that down a tiny little bit. Just so we can get a bit more control over it. So I've actually still got white on the brush, so we've gone into like a really, really dark grey. I'm just going to wet it down again, just a tiny little bit, so we've got it a little bit more fluid than we would normally use. I'm going to pull and twist the brush through that to a point. So it's a really dirty grey that we've got. I'm actually going to turn him upside down for this, so I can get into that corner there. For some strange reason, when you're painting in eye pupils and the irises themselves, it's easier to turn him upside down. So there we go. So that's the grey done. Now at this scale we can get away with that. If we tried using a blue over the top of that, it'll probably look a little bit too wrong. But I'm happy enough with that as it is. So while we've still got that black out, I'm just going to take that grey again, and we're going to paint these eyebrows in. And I know it's the wrong colour, but trust me on this one. We need that shadow first. Just come across the top like that. So that's the. Just go a little bit further over. There we go. Drop the corner there, like so. Wet the brush. Well, we've still got that quite wet on the eyebrows. I'm just going to go in with this funny red colour. And again, pull and twist the brush to a point, like so. And I'm going to take most of that back off on the paper towel. I'm just going to very gently rub over the top. Hopefully that'll blend together and make a brown. If it doesn't, don't panic, don't start rubbing away at that now. Literally, dot of black into that red will make a brown, it's not a problem. I seem to remember a few years back as well, Valentino went through a stage of tinting his eyebrows, and he had all kinds of weird and wonderful hair colours and things like that. So there's a couple of overspills, but we'll take care of that in the next stage. Like so. So that's that. And while we've got this paintbrush out, we might as well touch in that, or will we? Yes, we will. We'll touch in that RLM 74 while we're here, which is the base coat grey that we've used for the helmet. Where are you? There you are. So I'm just going to drive my brush off to the side here on that paper towel. Like so. So again, it's the Model Air RLM 74. Literally a dot on the plastic. Try to brush off on the back of your fingers. And we're just literally going to touch that corner in where we've rubbed away the paint. And just take the moment to just go around and fill in any white spots that you find. Like so. And we're going to leave this now for about half an hour to dry off and cure and do things like that, and then we're going to gloss varnish that. So we need to do a wash next. Right, so if we have a quick look there, that's the oil paint that I've literally just used for doing that second filter on the base itself. So this gives you an idea of how these videos are actually done now. I'm not too sure which episode this is at the moment. This will either be 3 or 4. I'm not too sure how it's going to pan out. And I've lost it. There you go. There you are. So I'm just going to grab another oil paint brush. Let's say, if you'll have a look at my brushes, that's one range that I picked up from a hobby store that do craft stuff as well. Clues in the description I've just given you. But I've also got Games Workshop stuff. So it's the Citadel brushes. That's all my acrylics. I've got loads of cheap and nasty things like this as well for other acrylic work. I've got like a huge amount of brushes. I'm also about to start testing these things, the Army Painter brushes, which is similar to the Citadel brushes, and you get like ridiculously tiny ridiculously tiny bristles and detail brushes and things like that, and you get massive, great big huge things. So I'm about to start road testing them very soon. I'll have to check if they're available from eModels or not. I think they are, but don't quote me on that just yet. If you see this part in the clip, then obviously I've checked and yes, they do. So I'm just going to check how much thinners we've got left in there. That should be enough for what we need to do. So I'm just going to wet that brush and then just go in the nooks and crannies on his face. So you can see there, the whole thing's just gone and flooded the area. So it's a little bit too much. I should have taken that off on a piece of kitchen roll off to the side, but it's okay. So on a piece of kitchen roll off to the side, you dry your brush off a little bit, and if there is too much, it's simply just a case of going back, wicking away with the brush, just to control it all. So it's not a huge problem. Your initial reaction is try not to. From the sounds of it outside, I'm not too sure if he'll pick that up or not. My mum's just got back with the running club. Not quite 60. She's running half marathons. Absolute legend she is. She's fantastic, my mum. Right, so don't put that down on your kitchen roll because it'll soak all your oil away. MiG 502 Abteilung German ochre. You can also use something like an artist's burnt umber or something along those lines, or possibly even yellow ochre. There's some kind of mid-tone brown you'll need, and this is going to be complete guesswork, literally. Now, I think this was in the German armour set that I got a while back. It's literally the tiniest little dot, just a flavour. So it's literally a tiny dot. I think that thinners. Possibly a little bit more than that. What we're doing now is we're creating a wash. So just go from the lid. Now the advantage of these MiG 502 Abteilung paints is the pigment in them is a lot finer than regular artist oils. They've been crushed in the milling stage to a finer degree. That might actually be too light for what we want. That's about the runny that I need. So as you can see, it's zipping off down the creases of my glove. So that's okay, but I'm not too sure if it's going to be dark enough. So I'm going to take away most of the excess on the brush onto the kitchen roll. I'll literally just wash it across like we did with the track. Find your words, Tony. So it's literally just smother the face, and what this will do is it'll find all the nooks and crannies in his face, and hopefully it'll blend everything together as well, all these little shades. You can see every now and then there's like the odd brush mark. So we'll cover the neck as well. So it's going to give him that little tan that he has. Like so. So we've literally applied now a tan filter, if you like. So same again, we'll leave him off to one side to dry again overnight. And we'll come back in 24 hours and see how he's doing. Right, back to his mush. So I've got a German grey highlight from the MiG 502 Abteilung range. Beautiful colour, it really is. I've got another grey here, I'm sure I have. Oh, do your job, Tony. Available from eModels.co.uk. Terrible. That was terrible. That was shocking. Sorry, Peter. I'm sure I've got another grey. Is that you? Ah, faded grey. There we go. So, face is dried off a little bit now, so he's still a bit shiny and things like that, so we're going to matte that down eventually. Now I'm just going to grab my from my oil paintbrush things. So oil paint brushes with 2 pens for some reason. I don't know why they're in there. So I've got a couple of grotty brushes here, like so. That's my dry brushing brushes, and that should do us. And what we're going to do now is, where's my scrap cardboard? I'm going to get some scrap cardboard. Oh. Packaging boxes and things like that. Oh, there we go. You'll do. You'll do. So I'm just going to grab some. What's that one? Faded grey. Actually, just the top from the tube. Get it onto the cardboard. We're going to dry brush now over these lumpy bits on the helmet. So we're going to come across. We've got a nice big edge there. It's going to come across and just flick against that edge. There and there. A bit too much, so I'll come across with a finger. Just wipe a little bit of that off. It's the beauty of oils. You get a couple of hours to play about with it. And shift it around a little bit. And again, we're not going to see any of this, but if you can imagine this is going to be a Roman helmet or something like that. You know, it's worth practicing these techniques. Yeah, try and avoid the mindset of I'm not going to see it, so I'm not going to paint it. Practice, 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 practice. Not a few of you get in touch saying, I wish I could do that, and I can't do this, and I can't do that. That's your first problem. Stop saying I wish. Stop saying I can't. Just grab a brush. Throw some paint on there. At the end of the day, if we're not going to see this, it doesn't matter if you cock it up. Have a play. It's a fantastic feeling. And every now and then you'll come across something. You'll just do it. You won't even think about it, you'll just do it. And you'll sit back and you'll go, whoa, what? I did that. Fantastic. Alright, so I've got some of the paint on there now. Like so. I'm going to take the dry brush, the dry brush. I'm just going to blend some of these things away. Just fade it in a little bit. I have seen online some clever folk have managed to actually get the face visible through the helmet, and they've only whacked the back end of the helmet on. So we've got the option now of converting that helmet if we so desire, which I'm not actually going to do. I've thought about it a couple of times and I don't know. That might be one for another time. Let's go back to the wet dry brush. That made no sense whatsoever. Put that edge up there at the front. Yeah, like so. So yeah. Grab a brush. Get some cheap and nasty kits. Have a play. Swap to the dry brush now. Just blend that in a little bit. Fireworks? Really? I don't know if you'll pick that up on camera. There's definitely somebody letting fireworks off in January. Yeah. Joys of a council estate. So it just breaks up that lump of grey. So like I say, if this was a Roman helmet or a German helmet or something like that, yeah, have a play with it. See what you can achieve. Send me photos. I love it when you guys send me photos. I can sit back and go, yes! Yes! And celebrate your glory and your achievements. I love that. I genuinely do. So, I'm not even going to use the German Grey highlight. I'm happy enough with where that is now. So, we're going to leave that for, I don't know. I've literally just off camera. Literally. Just finished doing that clip. So this is going to take the same 2 days to dry off. So I'm going to give it at least 2 days, let it sort itself out, and then we'll matte varnish the whole thing. Get rid of all that nasty shine. and then we'll see what he looks like, and then if we need to, we can add more paint. It's not a problem. Oh, I'm happy enough with where that is. So just off camera, literally just drying all the bristles. There we go. Because I'm going to do more dry brushing in a minute. Yeah, because I'm going to do the figure in reality. Yeah, I know. It gets confusing in these films. It really does. Cool. What was I going to do? Yeah. Next time-lapsey thing you do that, not the time-lapsey thing, the next, yeah, it's going to be 2 days later. So yeah. And obviously 2 days later ended up being like 2.5 weeks later, because I lost my voice and all kinds of stuff like that happened. And what else has happened? Oh, my dog's had the operation on her ear, and oh, tell you what, I've never seen a dog go cross-eyed before. Bonkers. So there we go. Hopefully you can make all that out. It's had a matte varnish now as well. I forgot to record that part because I didn't have a voice anyway at the time. But there we go. That's Valentino's head, and I'm quite happy with that. I genuinely am happy. Now I'm still working on whether or not I can convert the back of the helmet, because it is a shame to have all that there and not be able to see it. And that's going to be the kind of idea. And I've actually seen photos online of people who have done that. So I'm going to have to run away and do some research, because as you can see there's a gap there, so I need to figure out how to sort that out. But it's definitely an option that I'm looking into. And then we can whack the front on as and if we need to. So we'll call it an episode there. I was hoping to show you a little bit more of the figure build itself, but the way it's panned out with all the filling and seam lines and God knows what else I had to sort out, it's going to be an entire episode all of itself. I'll give you a quick glimpse, because we've got some paint on there now. There we go, quick glimpse. That's all you're getting. Might even teach you with one of those. So we're slowly cracking on with that. And like I said, there's been a lot of filling. Because I lost my voice, most of it isn't ready. I was hoping to have had all that sorted out by now, so I could, follow on from episode 3. But unfortunately, it didn't pan out that way, as explained at the beginning. We'll see it eventually. We will see it eventually. Right, so I'll shift all that out of the way so I can bring the sponsors in. There we go. Bob Long, see my mates at eModels.co.uk. Don't be put off by the seamline issues. With a little bit of TLC and a little bit of graft, it can be an absolutely amazing model. And it is. I'm really happy with it so far. Stick with it. Stick with it. Don't give up. Don't be put off. It's great. Bob Long, see him. You need this kit. You need the bike kit. You need all of it. You need everything. Just spend loads of money with them, and that'll make him happy, and it'll make me happy, and I get more work. Yeah. So I'll see you in the next episode, and we'll crack on with the figure properly, and I'll show you how I sorted everything out and things like that. And in the meantime, take care. Thanks for watching, and be lovely, because you are. You're lovely. See you next time, guys.